MS Teams meeting. It's 7 o'clock. Looking out the window, it's pretty dark, and it's a Friday evening. So my wife asked me, don't you have a life? 7 o'clock Friday night, if this wasn't COVID, where would we be? But be that as it may, I'm so glad that you are here. I can see Pablo, Nabil, Vincent. For the recording, do you want to say hi, guys?
Hi everyone.
Right, great. So now we know that you're going to be famous. I'm going to record this video and I'm going to post it to YouTube. All right. By the way, I'm so happy with the postings. I received lots and lots of likes. Just to quickly go over it for the benefit of the students that may not be here. This is our My UNISA class. Here's my welcome message. Believe it or not, I get people asking me what's my email address. That's because they haven't looked at the welcome message. So my email is in the welcome message. There's the due dates. I want to talk to you about due dates and working in terms of scheduling for studying programming and C++. Now the assignment due date is scheduled for it was the 29th of April. And believe it or not, you have to go through 16 exercises or lessons, and each lesson has about 2 or 3 examples, maybe more. So if you're looking at an average of 2 exercises, let's just go to your study guide. I just want to take that and show it to you, and in a way scare you a little into working hard in terms of programming and working long hours, right? So if you have to go to lesson 16, which is nested loops just before functions, that's 188 pages. Now it's impossible for you to do that in 2 or 3 days. That's no way you can get it done in terms of programming. If this was another subject, like a theory subject, you can say, hey, I'll do chapter 1, chapter 2, leave out chapter 3, 4, go to chapter 10, and I'll continue. By the way, because there's so few of us in class, you are more than welcome to raise your hand or just shout out, right? Is that Pablo out there? Pablo, your mic is unmuted. You want to say anything? Nabil, please go ahead, chat. Yes, Nabil.
Yeah, with regards to this assignment 1,
Yes.
I see the due date, it's 3rd of May, but now I thought the assignments were extended till the 12th of May. So do you have any idea what's happening there?
Yes, that is absolutely true. The extension, I kept that minimized. The extension due date, this I picked up from the UNISA website. Due to extended registration, the university will allow the submission of all assignments until the 12th of May 2021. Now, one of the students queried this in the discussion forum, and if I could take you through to the discussion forum, I hope I am able to quickly go to that. He said that it's due on the 15th, of May. So, you know, it's basically 3 days extra. I don't know how much you can do in 3 days, but there we go. So the student said that it's due, you have a submission date on the 15th of May. Now, my query and my question and my concern to you is, which I tried to put it down in my reply to the student. Oh, I spelled experience incorrect out there. Now, you may have other modules to contend with. And I made a little joke, cost 1512, Math 101, I have wife 201, children 301, and dogs 401, and family concerns. And what about work commitments? So you have to factor all that in as a UNISA student. I realize some of you are new to studying through correspondence and studying programming. So you have to include all of that into your timeline and your time schedule. And let me give you something else. I tell you something else about UNISA and uploading to My UNISA. You never know the day that the assignment is due. That's when My UNISA website is down, and you would be unable to access the site to upload your assignment. Or worse still, you're going to experience load shedding and boom, you have a problem. So you got to take all those into consideration. Pabelo, your hand is up. Yes, Pabelo?
About submitting the assignment, do I take screenshots of my work and then make it into a PDF file?
No.
Submit the file?
No. Anybody would like to answer that? So Pabelo asked the question, does he need to take screenshots of his work and submit? Would anybody like to answer his question?
As I recall, you upload the program, and
Correct.
like the C has, for each assignment or each task is like 3 files that you upload.
Correct. Is that Luke? Luke
That's me.
Swartland.
That's me. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Welcome, Luke. Welcome, Luke. Thank you. You're making my job easy. Yes, you don't take a screenshot. I'll take a program and I'll show you how to copy and paste. Let me answer that question right now. So here I have a program, and this is actually assignment 9. For Pabelo, you can
Okay, sir.
copy it. You can copy it and you can paste it into MS Word, right? So you can copy it, and there's the edit facility. Copy it. This, I like to do it in MS Word. You can do it in Notepad if you like as well. And they actually give you instructions on how to do that. Luke, am I right, Luke?
That's correct, sir.
Yes. Right. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Luke. Please, I don't know everything. By all means, stop me and ask me and mention something to me. You tell me. So that's how I used to submit my assignments many years ago. And if I had to run this program, you can actually take it. Let's just run this program, build and run. And if you notice on the top of the screen, I click and it says edit. I say select all. Again, I click on the top of the screen. I go to edit. I click on copy, or I can use the shortcut keys. I go to my program and I paste it, Control V. And that's how I take my output. I hope I answered your question. Is it Pabelo?
Yes, thank you very much.
Right, so don't take a screenshot. Now
No.
include all those little things that says process return 0, 0 times 0, execution time 0.030s, and press any key to continue. That gives the marker an indication that you are not crooking it. Okay, leave all these little squiggly lines as well, because see out, those are in Word, if you want to, but not that it'll print out. And if you want to go and now export it to a PDF file, you can do that from Word. You click on File, you can save as a PDF, or I think in the UNISA, they use Qt PDF or something to that effect, and you can submit that. Luke,
Thank you very much.
Luke, am I correct? Is it fine? I didn't give you any bad info here.
No, yes, it's correct. I'm not that sure myself, but it seems correct, yes.
Yes, right. You see, they want to mark it ultimately. I used to mark for UNISA as well. By the way, I'm years at UNISA. They mark it on a PDF or they accept Word documents. So yeah, this works, right? This works. Thank you for that question. Thank you, Luke, for helping me and confirming what I did. Glad you are joining us. Your mic is unmuted. Would you like to ask a question?
No, thank you.
No, you're fine. All right.
Yes.
So I'm trying my utmost best to, I showed you, I'll give you some answers there for question 10. Right? I tried to work, if you look at my UNISA, just taking you to my UNISA site. So we sorted out the issue about the assignment due date. Now, always, this is my experience with UNISA. If they make a change to the assignment date, take a screenshot and keep that as your proof, your evidence. All right, like S. Mboto gave me evidence that said it's due on the 15th of May. And let me give you another hint and things about it, that yes, you will have an extension of a due date. If it's multiple choice questions, it's not marked by markers or the staff members within the department, it's marked by a computer. So those questions and answers are not marked by a human. That due date won't change. So please ensure that you submit it. Now, let me tell you something else about this assignment. You should aim for 100% in this assignment, and I'm here to help you. Because look at the contribution of weight. It's 30%. I mentioned this to you last week, Friday. Please ensure that you work hard and do not copy other people's work, because markers pick it up. When you have similar spacings or similar variable names and similar comments, people pick it up that this is what it is. The markers can pick that up. And also you're cheating yourself. So don't do that. Don't do that. On that point, I'd like to tell you about my methodology of teaching. So if you look at the MyUNISA site, I basically have a lesson for each one. So there's assignment 1, question 1. Nabil would know how to do it. He's fine with it. I actually have a little program, and I had some comments out here. You can include a comment if you'd like me to add more to that so that other people benefit. Just to put you in the picture in terms of statistics, we have about 100 people viewing this site per day, right? It goes, there we go. Let me change that role to student. There's 108, 101, 153. So basically I'm getting a large number of students accessing it, and they always like to access the additional resources. So if you are stuck with question 1, here's some assistance in question 1. And Nabil mentioned that he's stuck with question 10 and question 4. I think the part about the for loop. I give you hints. I do not do the question for you. I'm trying to teach you programming skills. So that's question 1. There's question 2 as well. I've given you some hints. Anybody wants to stop me, ask me a question as I'm going along, please do so. And the way this assignment is structured, you should work logically. Start from go to question 1, then question 2, then question 3, then question 4. Because in each question, if I look at the way it's structured, so here's the assignment questions. Question 1 it's a simple program. It's a very simple program. They want you to basically use the cout statements and to see whether you can multiply a variable by another variable. Let me tell you something else about the markers. Very often they don't mark all the questions. If there's 10 or 20 questions, it's impossible to mark all. You don't know, maybe they'll select question 1 or question 2 to mark. Let's look at question 2. Question 2, they're talking about declaring variables. Look at question 2, it says int variables 1, 2, 3 are there, NR pupils, NR groups, NR left, and they're testing you on mathematical operations in programming. Question 3, they actually tell you need to talk about modulus and divide. Now, if you've completed this question, you'll realize that modulus only works on integer values, not float points. So that was a question in the discussion forum. Anybody wants to comment on that regarding modulus on float?
Yeah, that was the one where I was stuck. I was stuck at.
Yes, Nabil, what were you stuck on with modulus?
So I know that modulus doesn't work with float. So converting it to the integer was where I was struggling, and I just can't seem to get it right.
All right, so you put that down, and in fact, email the lecturers as well, or email me and I'll forward it to the lecturers, because modulus only works on integer values. So let's take a quick, now let's say you know that this is the problem that you're having, Nabil. I'm giving you a teaching and a learning strategy. So you go to your study guide. You know, like I said, you've got lots of things to worry about. You got a girlfriend, Nabil? Wife, married, not married? Or
No,
whatever?
but I do have a full-time job.
Oh, you've got a full-time job. So you got a full-time job 101. So here's a simple way to study modulus, right? Modulus, M-O-D-U-L-U-S. You got to do modulus, right? Mod, is that mod? Let's see if you can find it. No, mod, M-O-D, where's that? I'm looking for, so Nabil tells me he's having a problem with modulus. I should have been looking for whole words, modular. Any idea which M-O-D-U-L-U-S, modulus? No. Which lesson was that in, Nabil? Do you know?
I can't remember.
It was a lesson. It was a lesson about converting.
Do you know which lesson is that?
I forgot the page.
MOD. Let's see if we get this.
But it's somewhere in the beginning.
Yeah, somewhere in the beginning. Okay, module, floating point numbers. Let's see if it's here. So Nabil is having an issue about modulus. He wants to know, how does modulus work? So I'm trying to show you how easy it is to get to grips with what the program is, right? So I'm trying to teach you a little modulus. No. Mod, MOD. Anybody can find it quickly for me? I don't want to waste your data, keep you on here more longer than it should be. MOD. It is in this guide somewhere. Floating point numbers, mod.
If you're speaking, can I pitch in quickly?
Yes, please do.
If you're speaking about modulus, you're speaking about you're not speaking about remainders, are you?
Yes,
It
we're
is
talking about.
remainder.
No, they speak about remainder in the book. It's I'm looking through the book at the moment.
Yes, please.
It's 29.
Less than 29.
Page 29.
Or page 29. So let's go to page 29. Thank you. Variables. That's likes each to be. Yes, let's look at where's the remainder. I want to just show Nabil a quick program on how to do modulus. There we go. There's the quotient, and the division, and it's a percentage sign, right? So modulus is the percentage sign. Enter two numbers. There we go. The remainder. There's that percentage sign, right? There's that percentage sign, Nabil, that you need to ask yourself. There's it. Now let's take this question, Nabil. We want to. Would it be able to work? All right. So Nabil, you want to figure out quickly what that the percentage sign. How do you work with it? So you open up your code blocks, Nabil, or anybody else for that matter. Anyone else that wants to do file. New, I'm showing you a quick and easy method of working in programming, right? C++ and NABEL for Nabil. Next, finish. Here's a program. Quickly, Nabil wants to figure out what is this remainder story. He's not sure about it, but he knows that this could come out in the exam, right? Or the test or whatever. So there's the two, and he says, let's enter two numbers, build and run. Oopsie, am I running another version in the background? Yes, I am. So let's go to build and run. So Nabil asked a question, what is this remainder? How do you do the remainder, right? Enter two numbers. Oops. Let's just take that out. Let's do a build and run. Yay, so it says enter two numbers. Now, whenever you're working in programming, this is called test data. You need to give data that you want an answer that would appear. In this case, let's take simple numbers. Let's take 10 and let's take 3, right? So we know from this program, by the way, this is tracing. Nabil, you asked a question about question 10 and variables and how would I do and what would I do? I'll answer question 10 with this question as well. So enter two numbers, 10 and 3, and he says the remainder of 10 divided by 3 is 1. So it took 10, it divided 10 by 3, so 3 times 3 is 9, remainder 1. So it gave you an answer of 1. Nabil, you cool with that?
Yes, that part I'm fine with.
Great. Now, if you wanted to try this out, try it out, Nabil. Go and change M and N to float. This is how you learn programming.
Yes,
You
that's where
make
I'm stuck.
changes. You play around with it. You can't break the compiler, right? You run the compiler, build and run. So Nabil wants to know if you can run it on float. Look at there, what happened? Let's see the error that it gave me, Nabil. Let's go to my log. Failed error. There's the error there. So it's unable to do it. Invalid operands float and float to binary operator. So here's your evidence that you cannot do the modulus, the remainder after division with a float value. Nabil, you cool with that?
Yes.
Right.
So now converting is where I'm struggling.
Right. So there's your answer there. You can't work with it right now. It's not possible. Now, the next thing you asked me, Nabil, is how do you do variable diagrams? Right, Nabil? And this is for other people as well. What I'm going to do is a very simple, I'm using Excel. You need to do pieces of paper, pen and paper, but just to show you what a trace looks like. So there's Excel out here. we have line number, right? So line number, and we have variable declaration. So the two variables I had was M and I had N. So in line number 7, right? In line number 7, we said enter two numbers, nothing happened there, right? So there's another one called output. So here you could say enter two numbers. Now this is very important in programming because you trace through the program and you begins to find out what's going on in it. So here's line 7. So now you say enter two numbers. The two numbers that I'm entering is 10 and 3. The output statement still remains the same. Now why I like Excel is I can copy this all the way down. Let's go to line, sorry, that was in line number 8. So line number 8 was the input statement. In line number 9, Nabil, can you see how I'm working with my tracing of a program, my variable diagrams?
Okay.
Nabil? Anybody else?
Yes, I'm with you. I can see.
You with me? You with me?
Yeah.
So you must remember this is still carried forward. This is still the memory of the computer. 3 is at line number 9. It's still there. It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. The output now says the remainder of M divided by N is. So all the statement comes here, right? Oops. This entire is an output statement. Right. So I'm going to say Control C. I'm cheating a little bit because time is of the essence. It's already 25 past, and it's there. So that's what the output statement will be. Instead of M, it will have the value of M, which is 10. And can you see, Nabil, I pick it up from the preceding line out here and divided by N, which was 3. Now I'm going to show you how this will happen and take place in question number 10, because that's what you asked. And again, ultimately, you're going to have an output of 1. And that's still 3. And this is line number 10. That was still 10. That was still 3. Now I'm just going to make it look a little pretty, but this is a trace table. I've been doing programming from 1986. I did a trace table in 1986, or a variable diagram, or we call it, you're basically looking through what the program is. And in 2021, I'm doing the same thing. I want to find out what is happening in the program. This will happen throughout all your programming experience for up until they maybe change to artificial intelligence or something like that. Nabil, does it answer your question? And the rest of you as well, in terms of a program, tracing a program and finding out what's going on in it, right? Nabil,
Yes,
cool.
yes, I do have a better idea of it.
You do, okay. Do you have another comment or a question, something to?
No, what this I can understand. It's just exactly what's happening in your code. You need to put it in words and in a diagram to show what's happening at each step.
Yes, yes, right. So if I'm going to jump to question 10, I'll show you question 10 now. I won't, maybe I should jump to it right now, or should we just go in order? Let's see what question 10 has to talk about. In question 10, they actually ask you to draw a variable diagram, right? A variable diagram, or they ask you to trace, right? So there's the out here. So I did this last week, Nabil, you weren't here, but I'm going to repeat this. So I'm going to copy it and I'm going to open up my code blocks. Let's open up a new project. I'm doing it a little faster because I assume you all are okay with this. And let's see, NABEL 10, Nabil 10. In honor of you that asked the question, Nabil, I'd label that. Nabil.
Yes, I'm with
Give
you.
some
I'm with
honor.
you.
I gave you
Thank
some
you.
honor there.
Thank you.
Right. So there's the question out here. Ooh, there's it. Look at it. Can you see what a fast typist I am, Nabil? Aren't I a fast typist, Nabil?
Yeah, no,
I'm
definitely.
saving you money and I'm saving you data. I'm not keeping you on too long. Right? So this is what you'll have to do with in question 10. By the way, I've got a little video on this as well, and I've explained to you. You can watch the video after this lesson. And please, I'm trying to compete with people like Beyonce and having hundreds and millions of likes. I only get 2-digit likes on YouTube. So if you see my video and you like it, please click on the like button, right? Joke, Nabil.
No, I will go and like it.
Right. So this is how you draw a variable diagram for this. So let's open it up now. Let's open up a new sheet. I know there was a question from the audience that said, do I need to use Excel? I'm just using Excel because I'm in an online virtual environment, right? So don't change the lines because then the person looking at it won't be able to see what's going on in terms of what program they have, right? So line number, or we can simply say line. Easy as pie, you copy the variables from here. So we have a year, we have code, we have book, we have discount. Now I'm going to teach you how to cheat a little bit, right? But this is, DIS, this is good cheating. Right? In line number 8, somebody asked, do I need to start from line number 1? If line number 1 got include string, include IO stream using namespace, that's not going to add to the output. The whole purpose of question number 10, Nabil, is that they want to find out what is the output of the program, right? So in line number 7, let's go to line number 8. The year is 2010. If anyone knows the question out there, Luke, I think you should have the question there. It's 2010. And what else are they asking for code, Luke? Or anybody else?
The code is T.
T, right? Right. So code is T. Do they have any value for book and discount?
No.
Luke, you've unmuted. Oh,
No, sorry.
yes, they don't have. That's right. They don't have. Luke, that's right. So let's go to line number 9. Line number 9 says switch year. There's nothing happening out there, so you can still say that these values are still kept down. And in line number, so we got to go to now. This is what happens. From line number 9, I jump all the way to line number. Where do I jump to? I jump to line number 16. Why do I jump to line number 16? Because it's case 2010. Luke, do you see that?
Yes.
Luke? Right? So it's 2010. Oops, this shouldn't be 2011. This is still 2010. Now, this is in line number 9. Basically, we jump there, right? We go to line number 16. Then I go to line number 17. Now, in your variable diagram, you can have a statement like this. If book equals true, right? So that's what they're asking you. If book means if book is equal to true. If book is equal to true, which is true, look at line number 7. Line number 7, book was changed to 7. Oh, this is cool. I forgot to put that down. But not a problem. I can do that with Excel. Line number 7. In line number 7, book was equal to true. And discount was equal to 0.2. And this one here, what we used to do was put a dash. If we didn't have an answer, we just put a dash, right? We just put a dash. Whoopsie, escape. Right, I'm just gonna make that. Right, so that's what you could do if you are not sure of what's going on, right? If you are drawing the little boxes, by all means draw the little boxes, right? But I like this. Okay, check here. Luke, why didn't you stop me and tell me that I missed out line number 7, Luke? I'm going so fast. Luke?
Oh, sorry, man. Sorry, sir.
No, it's okay. I'm just kidding. I'm just pulling your leg there, right? Teachers don't know everything, right? So would you be able to follow this and continue in terms of line number 17, 18, 19, or whatever the case might be, Nabil and Luke? And if you are having hassles, let me tell you what you need to do. You can go to my lesson in My UNISA, right? And you watch the tracing. There's the answer. I actually have the answer written out for you, and I showed you how to do it. Now, let me tell you how to not cheat, but crook it a little bit. If you are unsure of what's going on in a program, you go and put down some nice C out statements in there. So over here, you can put down C out the value of year is, yeah. Right? Now, this will help you. There's also a facility where you can go through the program and debug it and look for, debug means removing errors, right? But this is a trick you can do. You can do it somewhere out here as well. So you'll notice you can display, but the only problem when you're doing it like this, what's going to happen is you're going to increase your number of lines. So you can put down out there, see out year. And what I also like to do is here in line 17. So when I'm running this program, you'll notice this helps me to understand what's going on inside of the program. Look at that, 1733. Oopsie, I have a error out there. End was not declared in the scope. End line, ENDL. Right, so build and run, build and run. So you'll notice now when I type in 2010, and Luke told me it's T, I think it is a parabella. There we go. Can you see it says the year, the value of year is 2010, year in line 17 is 2010, B1 0.35. So you will need to fill in this spreadsheet or this variable for question number 10, which also explains to you question 4 and tracing of a program. Nabil, next question, or Luke a question, or Pabello a question, or Koketso a question. Speak now. Go ahead.
Okay.
Right?
What?
So you
Okay.
watch this. There's the video out here, Nabil, and please watch it on YouTube. Oh, that's my wife's voice. Right? I don't know if you can hear it, and I put some background music as well. Right. So that answers your question there, Nabil. Question 10 and question 4. I shot through in one go.
Yeah, I still have a question of question 3.
Yes. Yes. Question
Okay, so
3. What is
in question 3, right? They ask us to use floating values for those variables. They want us to declare them as float. But
right. Let's look at the question.
Yes, just
Nabil has a question here. He said in question number 3. Luckily, I went
same
over
float
this
question.
All right.
They ask us to use float
Right. Yeah.
values. But now, in order to calculate modulus, you can't use a float value.
No, I just proved it to you.
Yes. So now, how do we need to convert it to an integer in order to do that calculation?
Good question.
That's
Good question.
That was my main question.
All right.
Do we
Now
need to
I would
convert
advise
it?
us that we could ask the lecturer. I don't want to change her question. By the way, I found an error in the question, and as examiners and as academics, we don't like people finding errors. I can tell you that. I'm a lecturer at DUT, so you know, yeah. But modulus does not work on floating point. I just should prove that to you with the compiler. That I can tell you for a fact, right? So what you can do is you can try and work these if I had to start the question out, make var1 and var2, start them off as integers from the word go. Because look at the way the question is phrased. The question is phrased such that you want to add 2 numbers, multiply 2 numbers, divide 2 numbers, basic operation of a calculator. A calculator will work with integers and it will work with float. So try that. And if they want modulus, you want the remainder, then you've got to use a integer value. That I can tell you. Or if you know how to change it to from float to int or int to float, you can. But Nabil, for a beginner and working from lesson 1 to lesson 5 or 6, I don't think you'd be able to do something like that. That's my opinion, but I could be wrong. Does it answer your question, Nabil?
Yes, it does. And for question 3, I mean, it can't be something so complicated because it's like just the start.
Correct.
That's why I was really confused as to what I really need to do there. Okay,
so Nabil, you want me to help you with question 3? How do you work with this? You start with what's the end in mind. This is my way of working. See this thing here? There's the answer is found in your question. Isn't that cool? I'm going to show you how easy it is. I'm going to make programming. So you open up code blocks, you open up a new project, and this is life as well. The answers there, answers are all over the shore. Don't think that it's not there. Don't make life difficult. I said any program because Nabil asked the question. Nabil, was it question 3, Nabil?
Yes, that's right.
Right, question 3. Watch this out. Let me show you how quickly I'm going to ask question for Nabil. All right, so Nabil asked me the question, how do you work this question out? Now, Nabil, I don't know the entire thing, how to do it. I'm just making a quick quick. I'm going to say star. This is the easy way of commenting the statements out. Now watch this. Every program has input, processing, and output. So can you see it says hello world? I'm going to take the questions from there. I'm not going to say hello world. I'm going to say the output is, right? The sum of this. Control C. Let me tell you what this does as a programmer. Control V, the sum of, let's just build and run. It builds your confidence. You think that you can work programming. It makes life easy, right? Build and run. Only from lesson 1, you know, that's all you know properly. Build and run. Hey, look at that, right? So like I said, from last week, any program has input, processing, and output. Right now, we've done the output part of this program, right? Without knowing anything about this program, right? There's the output part of the program. Now we need to have a section for input. This is called an input-output diagram. This is one way of teaching programming. One of the students asked me in the discussion forum, how can he master programming or master C++? This is one way. I did this in my thesis. Trust me, I know about these things, right? And you have another processing, right? So there's another part for processing, and you have the declaration on the top. Now, in programming, order is very important. You cannot go and output something if you don't have something as an input. Can you see they have the word please? When they have the word please enter something, that's an input statement. So that's where you put down C out, please, and because I'm rushing for time, I'm going to copy and paste this, right? Can you see the strategy I'm teaching you, Nabil, to program, right? And then I'm going to put an N line over there to make it look pretty. Whenever you have a C out, you'll always have a, in terms of when you say please, you know, you're pleading with a person, above that, below that, you'll have a C in. So make that as a little rule. I've been teaching programming for a long time. I make that as a little rule. So C in, and from my question, I would know what kind of variable it is. I know that they asked me for int var1, int var2. Am I right, Luke?
That's correct. That's correct, sir.
Ah, thank you. And Nabil, are you okay with this that I'm changing it to int because float doesn't work on modules?
Yes, I'm fine with that. But
right.
when they're marking, is that going to be a problem, do you think?
Right. That's why I said you got to mention that modulus only works on floats. Or you can give them two versions, give them one with the float and with the inter. In fact, I'm going to email the lecturer and ask her and tell her that Nabil asked the question and I'll copy you on that email.
I was even
or
thinking
send me the email, I'll forward it to her.
I was even thinking of putting a comment saying when you're running when you add the modulus operator to do the calculation, add a statement saying that it does not work with modulus.
Please,
it does not work with float.
Nabil, can you ask her this question about question 8 as well? Nabil, check question 8 over here. Can you see it says how many items did you eat today? And it's got C in number of items.
Yeah.
Then it's got C out, enter the number of calories in there, and it's got number of items, and they're missing a C in statement here. Right? So you got to put in a C in because unless they expected you to do that.
Okay, let me just have a look at mine.
Did you do question 8?
Yeah, I did do question 8.
All right. So there is a C in item over here. Calories for each item. But you'll pick that up, right? I'll go through that. So I just want to show you, can you see how question 3, the rest of you can work out? You can do this very same for please enter in the second value, please enter in the third value. Sum is what you learned in question number 1. So you got to work in order, flow through question 1, 2, 3, 4 to build on programming. That's why I said you've got 188 pages to go through for this assignment. You need to work with it systematically. Nabil, I've done question 4 with you. I went through that. I don't want to take up too much of your data. Does it answer your question for question 3? Question 4. Let's talk about what would you like anything about talk about while loop validating?
No, I didn't have any questions. I just done, I think it was question 4. No, I was fine on question 4.
Okay, anybody else has a question related to question 4? If you are shy to ask or by all means, watch my little video. I've done one for each and every question. There's question 4, some help. I call it some help. All right. So that's the program. And let's watch it on YouTube. Let's watch it on YouTube. Yay. Let me see how many views did I have. I've got 48 views. Wow, and 2 likes. Nabil, I'll make that a 3rd like with you, Nabil.
Yes, definitely.
Nabil,
Yeah, I'm here.
you like my video?
Yeah, I'm going to like it, all of them.
Oh, you're going to like it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I'm going to stop that. I don't want to waste your data. The reason I put it inside UNISA, apparently UNISA is 0 rated. So when you are watching it inside UNISA, I don't know how far this is true, but you don't pay for the data. So that's one reason I did it inside it. Right. And I actually did the second part as well. I've given you part 1, part 2, and I've done the input as well. So if you watch my videos, I kind of build on the previous work and I try to help you strategize programming, try to work with it in terms of writing a program, because this is your building block to computer science 2 and computer science 3. And if you are, and I've been in programming, like I said, from 1986. It's the longest relationship I ever had. I'm still beating my relationship with my wife, right? Got a couple of years to catch up. The 3 things in programming is assignment, selection, and looping, which I'll talk to you about in the next question, right? Looping means doing something over and over and over, right? And well, storing it as memory. So I've done. If you're scared to ask me a question, each one of them I have a question and the answer. So question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've helped you with all of that, right? Can I go to the next question quickly? If nobody has a question that's related to question 4. Question 4.
Can I speak for question 4, please?
Please, sure.
So yeah, I don't. Oh no, sorry, not question 4. My mistake.
5.
The one where you said that you saw something was missing.
Question 8.
C in.
Yeah. What about question 8?
I don't. For me, I didn't find anything that was missing there, because after that count statement, I went straight into the while loop.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
you did the while loop. Okay. If
Yes.
you're doing the for loop, I picked up that. Let me open up my project.
Oh yeah, there was 4
but
and
then
while
you'll see
loop.
the answer. I don't want you to see the answer. That was question 8. Right. So if I run my question 8, I had to request. Oh, there's the answer. How many items did you eat? The number of items, and within that, I had to ask the number of calories in each item. Did you ask that question, Nabil?
Was this using for loop or
For loop? For loop. So I
no,
felt that was missing. Or maybe they wanted you to work it out. They wanted you to pick it up.
Yeah, most probably. I just want to see. I did it with the while loop. I didn't do it with the for loop as yet.
The question also requests the for loop, Nabil.
Yes, so that's why I need to go back. I remember I told you in the start that I missed the for loop.
Yeah. Right. Read your question. Oops, I don't want to put that up so long, right? All right. So you will learn nothing if you copy programs from other people, or you will learn nothing if you. By the way, if you look at YouTube, there's one. I don't know if it's a tutor or not, but he's giving answers galore. If you go and search on YouTube, which I've done last night, costs 15.11. Right? Just go and search. That's my YouTube channel. You can watch my other lectures as well if you like. And here, there's the question, and a hell of a lot goes out there. I'll go Nabil, Luke, Koketso, Andy, Glad, Jonathan. Jonathan's got a question. Please, Jonathan.
Hey.
Out.
How's it, Mr. Govender?
Hello, Jonathan. How are you?
Good. Yourself? Good.
Good. Thank you for raising your hand. Just scream out. We are cool here.
Cool. I just tuned in like literally a minute ago. My question isn't very relevant, obviously, to anything you've been speaking about so far, but
No.
It's just more of a general question for the assignments for this assignment and obviously the assignments to come. I just want to know whether we're going to be marked explicitly on commenting in the code. Like, are marks going to be deduced if we don't comment or forget to comment?
That's a very nice question, right?
Yeah.
So, and let me comment on your comment.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I'm glad you got my joke. My wife says I don't have a sense of humor. But anyway, so comments are statements included in a program to explain to somebody else who's looking at your program what's going on. It doesn't add to the value of your program in terms of the logic, the running of the program. No, not at all, right? You believe it or not, the way you label a variable, if I call a variable n and I call a variable number, that's also considered commenting in a program.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay.
don't look at it like that. When I am marking, and I have marked Unison and no other people, number one, they're looking that your program doesn't have syntax errors. That means you've spelled all the reserved words correctly. Number two, it's running and it's working. So in the very beginning of our MS Teams meeting, one of the questions Pabelo asked was, how do you submit your work? And I showed him how to do that. You can watch the video again, right?
Okay, I will rewatch that.
Mentioned it. Yes, and I'll put it on YouTube. Please like the video, right? Click on like and ask all your family and friends to watch it and watch it. Okay, because in programming, I only get less than 30, 40 views. Hey, but if I was an artist, gosh. Anyway, so I would be very disappointed if a marker has to deduct marks that you don't have a comment in there. But it's good programming practice to include comments in your programming, Jonathan. This is, like I said, your building blocks for you becoming a future programmer, or maybe an app developer or something like that. Because in the real world, you are working with other people, or someone else will take your program and add to that. Now, if they can't understand what's going on in your program, then they're going to find it difficult to build on your work. Right? So that's what comments are all about.
Yeah, I understand.
I hope I answered your question.
I just basically went through the entire assignment and I didn't put any comments in the code at all. So now I'm just wondering if I must go back and comment just for the sake of commenting for the marks.
If you want to, just to make it more readable, right? Look at the way they've done it. Can you see it says float amount, the amount due before discount. If you're gonna put down float and amount, and then you're gonna say amount is a variable called float, you're wasting your time, you're wasting my time. You get it?
Yes, so I see. So maybe just comment on the big parts, like this is a loop to count as X, Y, and Z. Okay, I understand. Also, another question I just wanted, is that variable diagram question actually going to be marked?
It's a part of question 10. I don't know whether they're going to try it, but let me give you a hint about how this variable diagrams and what it is. The variable diagram, the whole objective of a variable diagram is to find out what the output of the program is.
Yes, I understand.
So yeah. And I've given a little explanation, and I used it with Excel as well, Jonathan, in terms of how to work with the program. I use the Excel spreadsheet with line numbers and all that goes with it. Let me see if my spreadsheet is here. There's my spreadsheet. I did that, right, Jonathan, for question 10. It popped up, and we did. Nabil wanted for question 4. On remainder, and I just gave him a little explanation. But please, I've got videos on tracing through a program on YouTube.
I understand the purpose of the variable diagram, but it almost just seems like a little bit of a redundant question, because it's almost like you can do it visually in your compiler with the debugging tool, you know.
Yes.
It just seems a little bit strange to me that they're putting it as a question there for marks that's going to affect your percentage at the end of the year.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly with you. In fact, thank you for bringing that up. I teach my students to work with a pencil. I take a little pencil and I write down over there, I put down over here 2010 in line number 9.
Yeah.
Then I jump straight away to line number 16 because it's 2010. And then I write down with my pencil out here, instead where it says book, I put down true. And I put on a pencil and I can work it out. But the question in this assignment dictates that they want a variable diagram.
Yeah, it's like they want you to do it the same way they did it in the book. But if I'm going to be honest, when I read over the book, when it came to the part with the variable diagrams, I just skipped over the pages because I found it as a redundant kind of exercise, you know. It's there to explain it in a very simple way if someone's not getting it. But if you do get it quickly, then it just seems like a bit of a waste of time to me. But that's why I was just asking. I'll go back and learn how to do the variable
question.
diagram.
I as well. But
Okay.
you know, I'm in a bit of a difficult situation. I'm contracted to UNISA. I got to kind of support what they have
Of
to
course,
say.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's the way it goes. And but I would feel that your output is more important than anything.
Of
And let
course.
me tell you where I'm working in terms of, let's say, for instance, a student only includes the output statement. So here's the example that I have, right? And they get the output incorrect. That means they're going to lose, let's say it was worth 5 marks, Jonathan. They're losing 5 marks. But if you had a variable diagram and you had all the little steps in between that's happening out there, Jonathan,
Yeah.
then you definitely to get part marks. Can you
Okay.
see the logic and the reasoning behind that?
Yes, I do understand. Yeah.
Great. I
Just
hope I answered your question.
yeah, you did. It just seems like learning a whole nother language, though. Learning how to do those variable diagrams. I mean, they're quite they seem quite robust. You know, it's like you have to put them in the right order and X, Y, and Z. But
yes.
okay, I guess I'll have to do it.
Yeah. If you want all the marks, and you know, if you're stuck, and it's also a useful tool. I know I felt just the way you feeling, Jonathan, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But once you go and run through it, and when you are running through a program that's pretty long, like 30, 40 lines,
Yes.
and you don't know where the error is, having a trace table, looking through it line by line, it helps.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
But isn't that what the debug is for?
Excellent. That's what I spoke a
They
little
should
bit
be
about
teaching
earlier
us how to
on.
use the
That's what
debugger instead of drawing trace tables. You know, in my opinion.
This is the debugger. I'm so happy you mentioned that. You know, as a teacher, we can't teach so many things, but you brought it out. This is the debugger that. Let me take a simple example that Jonathan has mentioned. I love the question. When you ask a question, then I can take you out there. And Jonathan is just testing me to see whether I know what a debugger is.
No,
right?
definitely not. Of course, I know that you know what it is.
No. Go ahead and test. Right. So that's the debugger out there he's talking about. The debugger is basically an online tool to assist you to trace through your program to find out what's going on in there, right? Unfortunately, I didn't set up my debugger, so it's running. There's the error message at the bottom. You need to specify a debugger program in the settings. I didn't do that, right? But if you sorted that out, it would make life very easy to check. You can have a toggle breakpoint. You can watch a variable as it changes. Oh, this brings back memories of Turbo Pascal days. 1990s. Right, Jonathan, I'm pretty old.
I didn't know
lovely. Oops. Yeah, Turbo Pascal, they used to have a break watch facility, toggle watch, and debug. All right. So thank you, Jonathan. I hope that also answered and explained to other people as well in the group, the debugger and tracing through a program and going through it.
Yes, and thank you for your. I also had one more question.
Yes, please.
I just wanted to know, I think it was for question 8, maybe. Can you just scroll down and show me question 8 on the?
Sure. Question 8.
Yes.
Question 8.
It was for this one. So when they're marking the questions, do they look at your code and the output, or do they mainly just kind of judge it on the output, and it doesn't matter like what variable names? Say I change the variable names in that code excerpt that they give you there. Well, are they going to penalize you for that, or?
Okay, now this is my experience coming out as a teacher running programming. If I have 100 students, Jonathan, this is maybe you can answer the question at the end of it all. Let's say 100 students, and 100 students changes the way they write.
Of course. Okay, fair enough.
Variables.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have certain conventions for declaring variables. Look at this. In this case, they have a small letter C, and inside there 4 is a capital letter, I is capital letter. Look at totally small letter, lowercase, capital letter C. My advice to you, Jonathan, stick with what they have.
Okay.
They have declared it the way they did it. That's how I did it. So if I'm going to show you, Jonathan, see, he's very clever. He caught me out. He wants to see if I've done question 8 and if I can run it.
I've done question 8 as well. You don't need to show me how to do it.
Okay. I'm not showing you
if my one's correct.
Have you done both on the for loop, Jonathan?
Yeah, no, I had no problem with the logic. I just want to know whether the way that I'm handing it in is going to be penalized, whether I change something specific. What I didn't change the variable names in this particular question, but what I did do was I initialized the count variable in the first time where it declares count. I initialize it to 0.
Okay, so you would have done it out here. So at the
Yeah,
top, count is equal to 0.
yeah, that's what
Is
I
that
did. That's what I did.
excellent?
Yeah.
Excellent. But if, again, if I could, you know, mention, it's redundant. You don't have to declare count is equal to 0 in a for loop, because count is declared again. See, Jonathan is clever. He wants me to show a little bit what is going on. If you look at the for loop, when you say for count is equal to 1, that's where you are initializing and starting off your counting variable. So by you putting down count is equal to 0, it actually doesn't make programming. It's redundant, irrelevant. It's not.
Oh, but
now, if you are developing,
but the thing
and
is,
you're
for this,
storing that app on your,
I think for this question, you also had to use a while loop though, so that's why
Correct.
I initialized it to 0 before.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's where I initialized it to 0.
Yes, I did the same for the while loop.
Yeah.
Initialized it to 0, otherwise it wasn't working out.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well done, Nabil. Well done. I caught you out there. In a while loop, one of the conditions is they must initialize it to something before you enter the loop. Not necessarily with the for, not necessarily. In fact, you don't do the for loop, right? Absolutely right. And within the while loop, there's some good pointers about a while loop. You must change the value of that variable inside the while loop, and you must be able to exit that loop. That means the condition must be true. Lovely. Thank you so much for that, Jonathan.
Also,
so
what I did was what I also did was I did change the name of that particular variable. I changed count to counter, because I can see that there's a built-in library function in the word count, and we're not actually using that library function here. So I just thought it was like bad practice to use a built-in library function as a variable name. It still works, but yeah. So I just want to know, am I going to get penalized for that? For changing the variable name slightly?
I don't think, and if they do, you can cross-question them left, right, and center.
Okay.
But let me tell you something else about the markers. Again, through my experience, I've been a tutor at UNISA face-to-face from 2000, 2001. Right? I know some of you are wondering. But people that are marking, and again, this is a recording, and gosh, I'm putting a hell of a disclaimer out here. No offense to any marker out there. But sometimes people that are marking programming exercises or tutorials or assignments are not necessarily programmers.
I see.
So Jonathan, if you've got someone that's marking and they see the word count and you put on counter, they're going to think that it's a different variable. It's
I see.
So, I mean, I'm a programmer. I look at it and say, yeah, that's fine. It's okay. It's cool. And if someone went and wrote down over the capital letter T, now, and the convention that you came up with, all variables will start with a lowercase t. And if you're not a programmer and you're saying it, oh boy. And also the way they're marking it, they're not in your code and they're running it through a compiler. You are giving them a hard copy. Am I correct, Jonathan?
Yes.
Yes.
So they don't run it through a compiler.
Yeah. I mean, it's impossible. In my group, there's 224 students, and I'm in group 1E. So group 1 A, B, C, D, E, there's over 2,000 students, let's say, in this program, in this course. They're not going to run each and every one through a compiler.
I see. So they don't do that then. Okay. That was also another question I had. I wanted to know, do they actually run it through a compiler? So they don't.
I don't think they do.
Okay.
I don't think they do. I can safely say that because it's impossible.
Okay.
Sorry, who was that? Is that Nabil?
Me, sir. So if maybe we change something because we see something, if we comment it out, maybe that might help for them to understand why we did that.
That could help. That could help if you justify what and how you are saying and what you're doing. For instance, in the question on the modulus, we mentioned that modulus only works on integer values, not on float. Thank you for that. Who's that? Is that Pabelo?
Yes, sir. That's it.
Lovely, lovely. Jonathan, there, Pabelo says maybe we should comment in there.
Just in case you make a change, maybe just comment why you're doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That covers all my questions. Thank you very much for answering.
You're welcome, Jonathan. You're welcome.
Cool.
Cool. Any other questions? Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Nabil. This is the lovely thing about having a MS Teams synchronous lesson. We are discussing, we're talking. There's quite a few of you in here. I'm going to download the attendance register. So, it's not a typing lesson. I type a question, you type, and we reply, It's straightforward. Thank you very much, Jonathan. Thank you very much, Luke, also for chipping in here and there and verifying, telling us about the remainder. Pabelo, Nabil. Andy, you have a question. Yes, Andy. Go ahead, Andy. Yes, Andy.
All right. I just wanted to know where the attendance register is.
That's I, as an organizer, will download the attendance register.
Oh.
No, don't worry, don't take out marks. I don't assign the register and all of that. In MS Teams, it comes down to me. I download it, and I only use that as proof that I've done an MS Teams lesson with you. But I also have a recording of it, and don't. It's not for marks or anything.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
Andy, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Do you have a question related to the assignment, Andy?
No, actually, they have answered all my questions.
Wow! See, you gotta thank Jonathan. You gotta thank Nabil, and you gotta thank Pabelo.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Andy, for that. Tumelo raised hand. Yes, Tumelo.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Evening, guys. My question. So regards to everything that was said now. So in terms of question 10, the variable diagram. So
Yes.
it doesn't matter whether we draw the diagram like in Microsoft Word using blocks and then writing the names and stuff.
Of course not. Of course not. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. No.
Because I see in the study guide they have that those the way they did it, they have the blocks and then the names with the values inside and all that stuff. Because I see that there's no way that we can do it the same way they did it. So like that was one of the confusing stuff for me.
Yeah, I can see there's lots of questions regarding variable diagrams.
Yeah.
There we go. This is what you're talking about. This the blocks that they have. Yeah. So well, it's similar to what I've done in Excel. If you look at the block, right, there's my line numbers. There's in the columns. This one, that one, the variables, and you can see it happening out here, right? And again, think about it. The whole purpose of a variable diagram is to find out what the hell is going on in this program. What is the output, right?
Yeah.
Now Jonathan can work with the debugger and he can give me the output. He can also take his little pencil and go through the program by himself and find out what's going on there, right?
Yeah.
Someone else may want to do it each and every step and go through that, right, Tumelo? Maybe you'll want to do that. And if you're starting off with programming, you should start slow and steady.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome, Tumelo. I hope that answered your question. Anybody else with a question? We are slightly over time. I don't want to eat up your data. I've got Uncapped at home and I've got 2 other modems running, but MS Teams is pretty data intensive. I've actually emailed them and asked them about the big blue button at UNISA that they're using.
Excuse me, Mr. Kowenda.
Yes, Luke, yes, go ahead.
So I have a question. It was quite interesting when you answered about, it makes sense why they don't run the program through the compiler when they mark it. But in any case, I had this problem when I was doing question 3 about the calculator. So everything worked fine, but I didn't have that return option after my calculation, right? When you press any button to return. So I messed around and I found a way to I did something to the program, and so that every time I do a calculation, you don't have to close the output at the X button. You can still have that press any button to return. So it won't affect the mark, you think?
I don't think so.
Because they're just going to look at, as I understand, they're just going to look at the format. I mean, the code, the programming itself.
Yes. This is my disclaimer to you, Luke. I'm not marking the work. I'm not UNISA's lecturer. I'm a lecturer at DUT, and I'm contracted as a tutor out here. But the objective, if you look at the way it says, the program should have the following structure. You got to request 2 variables. So there'll be marks allocated to you saying, see out, please enter in a variable 1, please enter in a variable 2, right? There'll be marks allocated to request a variable name from operation to represent whether you are adding, subtracting, division. That's what it is. There'll be an operation with the if statements in there. So they want to see that you're using an if statement. By the way, you can answer this very same question using a select case. But if you do that, you're not answering what the specifications of the program are. All right. And at the end of it all, you should have a display similar to this. Try and make it similar to the way they are asking stuff of you. Right? Because ultimately you want to get a good mark, you want to pass. And trust me, you can also dispute your mark thereafter. You know, you can say, hey, but this program works, this is what it is. And with programming, all you got to do is take your code and put it into a compiler, and voila, it'll work. You can even use the online GDB. I'm not sure if you'll ran the online GDB, you can go and play around with another compiler. There's plenty available. All right. If you think CodeBlocks is not giving you the right answer, go and try it on another compiler. There's my online C++ compiler. Jonathan, I'm not sure if you saw this one. Right. And you can, there's the debug out there, Jonathan. This will be cool for you to run it, right? And you can see your breakpoints in your local variables, and it can explain to you how you're tracing through it. So Luke, you are at liberty to rationalize and verbalize and whatever to say that this is how it was and thing. But this is your first assignment. Let's see how the marks are, and let's see the model answer and the solution that comes out. That is why you all should submit your assignments as soon as possible. Don't wait until the end of the due date and your next assignment will be due, and then you have all other modules to worry about. Does it answer your question, Luke?
It does. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Great. You're welcome. You're welcome, Luke. Do I have another question? Yes. Question? No questions. So I should have put a poll up there. I had a little poll that says, do you like my lesson? It was only on my lecture or my tutorial. There was only yes out there. There was no. So you're forced to say yes. Right. So if there's no other questions, I'm going to end our MS Teams meeting. If you like, I could schedule another one for next week, but you need to start with assignment 2. And generally what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and keep to the due dates that they have. You as well try and keep to that. And Jonathan, here's my break and local variables. You would love this. You would love all of this.
Yeah, I'll have a look at that. That software looks pretty cool.
Yeah, check this out, Jonathan. Right. Okay, so I hope you learned something new. If you spent 60 minutes with me and you did not learn anything new, you should have rather been watching TV, you know. Right? So I hope I've done justice to your 60 minutes and maybe your 60 megabytes or 100 megabytes of data that you probably use to stay online. All right, so if there's no other questions, I'm going to stop the recording. I'm over time. I asked for half an hour. We went to double that amount. I've provided you with plenty of resources in my UNISA. Please go and access the past year papers. You're not ready for that as yet, but you can have a view of what's going on. Please go and post some questions and queries in the discussion forum. I check my UNISA every day. Please go and check my YouTube videos. If you want to learn about other courses that I teach as well, by all means go there. And there's a tracing video. Watch this tracing video. This will help you to understand question 10 again. And you know that this one and that one, there's the program out here. And guess what? I've got lots and lots of views on that one. I know. Well, for me, lots of views is like 80, 90 views. Right? All right. So good night, everybody. Well, thank you for attending, and you have a good evening. Please complete the assignment, submit it before the due date. It's due yeah, on the some saying it's the 12th, and there's another student that provided me evidence that says it's the 15th. If you have it, if everything is working, please, please, please submit it. Okay, so I'm going to stop the